I think we're still having fun. I mean, now that we've done the really long tours, we're just enjoying getting to come play festivals like this, and you know, some of us are staying a week in Spain to enjoy the countryside and stuff like that. And this summer we're just doing festivals here and there. No super long tours, but after that finishes in September, then we're going to probably start working on new music and stuff like that. So
we haven't really been able to. You know, I kind of wish we could to like be able to throw new songs in and stuff here and there, but it's really hard. It's really hard to write on the road, and because every day it's just like you jump into sound check, and then before you know it, it's the show, and then it's like go to sleep. It's a lot of the times we like really need to decompress and fully sort of relax and then start.
I think everyone needs space from each other a little bit, like when we finish, because everyone likes to start the ideas on their own and then come together and share them. So it's like, I think there's this idea, no one wants to rush anything or put pressure on like, right. So it has to come very naturally and organically, otherwise it will feel really forced. So I think we have to just sort of see how it happens without overthinking it.
You know, I think we're pretty good about like, you know, just working on the things that we're excited to work on, and if that happens to fall under like a different category that's like maybe not a Grizzly Bear song or something, I think we're pretty good at sort of figuring that out. But we try not to be too, it's not like one's competing with the other or anything. It's it all feels sort of just part of a pool of music, and like certain things would work for one project and certain things work for other projects better. So
I haven't sat down and listened to it on record for a while, because I think once you sort of put it out there and you're performing it all the time, you don't go home and you're like, man, I just want to listen to my music right now. But
I don't think I've listened to it since.
I think I listened to it once in the winter, like just to like see how I like heard it again. And I mean, it's funny, you like, there's so much time passes, and I think you hear things and you're like, oh, I might have done that differently, or there's always, you know, we're always changing things, and I feel like we could probably keep recording a song for months and months, but we always just have to, once we get to the point where everyone's happy, we have to just be like, okay, we can't just keep working on this forever. We have to just let it go and do its thing. And so, of course, when you listen back, there's parts that you're like, I wonder if I would have done that, or sang it that way, or used that word. But generally, when I look back at it, it still feels like the whole thing was just a really positive recording and writing process. It was much less arduous than previous work, so there wasn't a lot of like struggle to get stuff done. It came very naturally, and everyone worked really easily together. So, you know, I never know, and part of me is curious to see what working in a studio would be like, but I just think we work so much better when we're out of the city, and two, when the four of us are just together in some sort of remote location, and then you just wake up every day and like, you know, one day may not be creative, but the next day you might fall into a thing, and then there's 3 days of like really intense stuff, and then there's a day of maybe not so much. But it's the whole act of living together and being able to record an idea any time of day that you want, and then like suddenly the more you're there, the longer you stay together, the more things like start to gel, and sort of the synergy gets better.
And I think you really enter, it's good for us to like enter this sort of like isolated world of like just being involved in like kind of just constantly thinking about the music, because to be in a studio atmosphere, it's like you usually like leave there every night and go back home and have to do your laundry or walk the dog or whatever, like things, not that those are bad things, but like, you know, there's just a lot of distractions, I think, and being able to just sort of have all that contained in, you know, just between all of us is really good.
Well, we try not to be, I wouldn't say we're obsessive, I just think that you can get into the recording zone and you can just get really sort of deep into it if you want. I mean, I think in some senses the songs on Vecatimus were less labored over than Yellow House, in the sense that we realized that we maybe like too many layers the time before, and so we were like, let's let this be spontaneous, let's let this be like fresh to us, and let it be. But at the same time, we would let it, you know, the songs simmer for months and then come back and revisit them and see, do we still like that song, you know? Like, or we would go on tour and play some of them, and the song would change as we started to play it live. So I think we really allowed the songs to sort of live a little bit before we committed to them. The four of us are coming from like different backgrounds and different interests, and that remains the same to this day. I mean, there are cross sections where everyone agrees, like everyone in the band loves Beach House, but there's some of us that like, I really like dance music too, but I wouldn't say Dan is a huge dance music fan. So like, you know, we all have like our different things that we get into, but everyone brings different elements to the table, and it's, I think, really usually excited to, you know, hear about other stuff from band members, or hear what like other ideas they're coming up with that might be like a little more left field or not normally Grizzly Bear sounding or whatever.